Abigail Adams, written by Kira Freed. Focus question. Who was Abigail Adams and why was she important? Who was Abigail Adams? Abigail Adams lived from 1744 to 1818. At that time, women mostly thought about their husbands, children, and home. Abigail Adams was different. She helped shape the United States' first years as a new country. Early years. Abigail was born on November 11th, 1744, in Massachusetts, one of the 13 colonies. At the time, the colonies belonged to Great Britain. Most girls were not allowed to go to school. Abigail's mother taught her to read and write. Abigail was smart and loved to read. Abigail married John Adams in 1764. John worked as a lawyer. He was often away from home because of his work. Abigail took care of the farm and their money. The Adams family. Abigail and John's children helped with chores on the family farm. Their oldest son, John Quincy Adams, became the 6th President of the United States. War with Great Britain. Soon after Abigail and John were married, Great Britain began to treat the colonies unfairly. People had to pay many high taxes. Abigail, John, and many others wanted the colonies to become independent. John left the farm to help the colonies break away from Great Britain. Abigail cared for their children and ran their farm. A woman running a business was not common at the time. Abigail thought John's work was important. She and John wrote many letters while he was away. Abigail shared her ideas about helping the colonies become independent. John listened to her ideas. The colonies went to war with Great Britain to become independent in 1775. John kept working to help the colonies become free. Abigail made meals and cared for soldiers who were hurt. She wrote to John about what was happening. After the war. The war ended in 1781, and the colonies became a new country, the United States of America. George Washington became the first U.S. president in 1789. John became the first vice president. John became president in 1797. As First Lady, Abigail spoke out against slavery and in favor of equal rights for women. Some people did not like it when Abigail spoke out. They sometimes called her Mrs. President. Abigail never stopped talking about what she believed. Do you know? John and Abigail were the first president and first lady to live in the White House. It was called the President's House at the time. Later years. Abigail and John moved back to their farm when his 4 years as president were over. Many years later, in 1818, Abigail died. Abigail Adams was a smart woman who made a difference in many ways. Her ideas were important to the birth of the United States. She showed the world that women can speak up and work for important causes. Connections. Writing and art. Write a letter to a friend discussing the future of the United States and ideas for making it a better place. Social studies. Make a timeline of Abigail Adams's life. Include 3 dates and at least 5 important events. Share your timeline with a partner.